What is DataQs in plain English? DataQs is a federal portal managed by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. It is a place that motor carriers and brokers and drivers all can have an account. This portal is used to challenge information, including roadside inspection reports, crash reports. Drivers and carriers can use it to challenge and get information off of a driver's clearinghouse record, so it has multiple uses. The DataQs takes your challenges and sends it to the agency that the report originated from. For example, maybe you're disagreeing with some details on a crash. You can petition that something be changed, or maybe get it off your record because it wasn't your truck, wasn't your driver. Then they'll send that to the state agency or county or whoever created that report to have them make the correction. And then they will report back to FMCSA through DataQs what their final decision was. So FMCSA is almost like a mediator between the motor carrier or the individual and the state agency whose report this was originating from. Your safety data is like your credit rating. It either shows you're a high risk or you're safe. If it's inaccurate, it's not giving a true picture of what your motor carrier is. So with that said, it will impact your CSA scores. If it's bad data, meaning it's showing you're a risk and it's not true, you'll want to get that straightened out, because the algorithms used for CSA takes all your violations, scores them, weights them, and gives you a percentile ranking against your peers. And if you're appearing to be more unsafe than your peers, it's going to impact your ability to attract. It affects your ability to attract customers, qualified drivers, qualified technicians. It's going to possibly result in higher insurance costs. And it's just your bottom line. So it makes business sense to address inaccuracies in your safety data. A strong DataQs challenge is one that really has merit. For example, just because you disagree with a violation on your roadside inspection doesn't mean that the challenge is going to go anywhere if it had merit. For example, if the driver truly was over on hours of service limits, there really isn't much documentation you can show to try to get that off your record. But maybe your driver was cited for a traffic citation that was tossed out in court, and you can show the dismissal. That's documentation that would show that that violation didn't exist. So it's important to show documentation that at the time of the roadside inspection or at the time of the crash, that the circumstances listed on the report are not accurate. Now, for the purposes of a misidentification, you're going to have to show that that truck and driver were not yours, and that somebody was either displaying your DOT number, perhaps it was someone that you leased onto your carrier and the markings weren't removed, or maybe it was an entry error on the part of the officer. So those are important things to show. It was not your truck, not your driver, or maybe the end of a lease agreement and this person should not have been displaying your DOT number. What are the biggest mistakes fleets make when filing a DataQs challenge? A DataQs challenge needs to have documentation. It needs to be objective, not a subjective emotional statement. It needs to be very specific. It needs to show that what you're challenging does not have merit. If you feel something isn't accurate versus something that is just something you disagree with, that's sometimes emotional and may not be accepted. The state agency may say, at the time of the roadside inspection, for example, that light was burned out, even though the driver was able to fix it before they left the weigh station. it's still a violation at the time of the roadside inspection, even though the deficiency was fixed before they exited. So you can't use the excuse it was fixed right after the driver was told there was a violation. So it comes down to at the time of the roadside inspection or at the time of the crash, are the facts accurate? You need to determine what documentation will prove your case. And this could be something from your technicians or your fleet maintenance shop if you outsource. Something showing at the time this wasn't accurate. Perhaps it was an entry error from enforcement. Then you need to prove that as well. So it comes down to building your case and showing it's not true and asking that it be removed.